My child, pause for a moment and listen carefully, because something sacred is unfolding right now, in this very breath. In this exact moment that you almost scrolled past without realizing the weight of what heaven has arranged. There are moments in life that feel ordinary, moments that pass like quiet wind through the trees. But then there are moments that carry a seal upon them, moments written long before you ever took your first step on this earth. And this is one of those moments. My beloved, the reason your eyes have landed here is not random, it is not coincidence, and it is not a message meant for the crowd. Heaven has just released something that was hidden, something written quietly in the chambers of eternity, something prepared for a heart that has waited longer than it thought it could endure. Do not rush away, because the timing surrounding you is delicate and precise. When I say that the hour is close, I do not speak in fear, but in divine alignment. Because what has been sealed for you is beginning to open like a letter carried by the wind from heaven itself. You have walked through seasons where nothing made sense, where prayers seemed to echo back unanswered, and where doors you expected to open remained closed longer than you could understand. Yet every one of those pauses had purpose. Every delay carried a hidden hand guiding the path you could not yet see. My child, there were moments when you wondered if the promise had been forgotten, if the quiet of your life meant that heaven had turned its attention somewhere else. But listen closely now, because the truth that is arriving is gentler and more powerful than the doubts that once surrounded you. The silence was not abandonment. The waiting was not rejection. The quiet was preparation. What is being revealed now carries a joy that will make those long nights suddenly make sense. My beloved, heaven does not rush what must be sacred. When something is written by divine hands, it must be protected until the moment is right. And right now there is movement behind the scenes of your life that you cannot fully see yet, but you can begin to feel it in the stirring within your spirit. Something long promised is stepping closer. Something personal, something deeply connected to your heart's quiet hopes, is being brought forward. There is a reason your spirit has felt restless lately. A reason certain thoughts keep returning to you like a whisper that refuses to fade. These are not random feelings. They are signals that the appointed moment is approaching. My child, heaven has released a message that carries your name. It is not written with ink, as the world writes its plans, but with intention, with care, with divine knowledge of the journey you have walked. There are things about your life that only heaven fully understands. The tears you never explained to anyone, the prayers you whispered when no one else could hear you, the moments when you stood strong even when your heart felt tired. None of those moments were overlooked. Every single one became part of the story that led to this exact point in time. Something beautiful is being arranged that will surprise even you. And while others around you may continue moving through their day unaware of what is shifting in the unseen realm, you are being gently awakened to it now. My beloved, sometimes the greatest blessings arrive quietly before they appear openly. They begin as a whisper before they become a celebration. That is why you were drawn here at this precise moment, because the invitation that has been released carries not only joy but confirmation that your waiting has not been in vain. There is a sacred union written in the language of destiny, something that heaven has observed long before your path crossed with the one who will walk beside you. My child, this is not about chance meetings or ordinary timing. There are connections that are arranged beyond human planning, connections that are guided through circumstances, lessons, growth, and patience until both hearts are ready to stand in the same light. What is written for you carries a sense of recognition, a peace that will feel different from anything you have experienced before. You may not yet see the full picture, but something within you already knows that change is approaching. That quiet anticipation you have been feeling is not confusion. It is awareness. Heaven often prepares the heart before the eyes see the answer. That is why you feel this pull to remain here a little longer, to listen a little deeper. Because your spirit recognizes that this message carries something meant specifically for you. And before we continue, my beloved, there is something important that must be shared with you. Because this space where these messages are spoken has been sustained through love, prayer, and the quiet dedication of those who believe in bringing light to others. Dear family, before we continue, I want to share something important. Recently, our channel was demonetized by YouTube, which means we no longer receive earnings from these videos. Yet every message here takes many hours of prayer, writing, recording, and editing. Our mission is to bring hope and encouragement to those who feel lost, lonely, or overwhelmed. Without support, it becomes very difficult for us to keep creating these messages and continue running this channel. If these messages have ever helped or inspired you, you can support this mission through the links in the description or the pinned comment. Buy me a coffee. Even a small contribution helps us continue creating these messages and reaching people who need them the most. Thank you for your love, support, and prayers. God bless you. Now listen closely again, my child, because the atmosphere around your life is shifting in ways that will soon become visible. There is a moment approaching that will feel almost surreal, a moment when something you once hoped for begins to appear in front of you with surprising clarity. You will remember this season and realize that heaven was quietly arranging details long before you noticed the signs. What seemed like coincidence will reveal itself as alignment. What looked like delay will reveal itself as preparation. My beloved, the invitation spoken about in the unseen realm carries a joy that touches not only your life, but the lives of those connected to your path. There are blessings that ripple outward, touching families, friendships, and futures that have not yet been written. That is why heaven guards these moments so carefully. When something sacred is about to unfold, it is protected until the exact second when everything aligns. You have been shaped by your journey more than you realize. The patience you learned, the wisdom you gained, and even the moments when you had to stand alone. All of these formed the strength of your heart. And the person whose path is destined to meet yours has been walking their own journey of preparation as well. Two stories moving through time, growing, learning, waiting, until the appointed moment when both stories finally intersect. My child, there will come a moment very soon when something within you suddenly feels certain. A calm clarity will replace the questions that once filled your mind. And when that moment arrives, you will understand why heaven waited until now. You will understand why certain doors closed and why others never opened at all. The story was being guided toward something better than what you once imagined. Remain attentive in the days ahead. Not anxious, not restless, but aware. Sometimes the most meaningful moments arrive quietly, disguised within ordinary days. Yet when they unfold, the heart recognizes them instantly. That recognition is not confusion. It is confirmation. My beloved, the invitation heaven has released carries joy, hope, and a future that will make sense of many things that once seemed unclear. And though you cannot yet read every detail written within it, the beginning of its revelation is already reaching your life now. That is why your spirit feels drawn to remain here, to listen again, to return when your heart seeks reassurance. Stay close to the quiet voice within you. Stay attentive to the gentle shifts happening around your life. Because what heaven has written is not fading, not delayed, and not forgotten. It is moving closer with every passing moment. And my child, when the moment arrives and the truth becomes visible before your eyes, you will remember this message and realize that the whisper you heard today was the first glimpse of something beautiful that heaven had already prepared with your name written inside. My child, remain here a little longer, because what is unfolding around your life has not reached its full revelation yet. There is a sacred rhythm moving quietly through your days, and if you listen closely, you will begin to feel it. It is the gentle movement of destiny, aligning with the prayers you once whispered during nights when you thought no one was listening. Heaven heard every one of those moments, my beloved. Not a single tear, not a single silent hope was forgotten. What you are sensing now is the beginning of a divine unveiling, a moment where what has been prepared in secrecy begins to step out of the unseen and into the story of your life. You may wonder why this message found you at such a precise moment, why your attention was drawn here instead of somewhere else. But understand this, my child. Heaven does not move randomly. When the appointed time approaches, signs begin to appear like small lights along a path, guiding you gently toward the place where your next chapter begins. That is why something within you felt a quiet pull to stay, to listen, to allow this message to settle into your spirit. The invitation that has been written carries a meaning deeper than what words alone can explain. It is not simply about a future event. It is about the fulfillment of a promise that has been forming around your life for longer than you realize. There have been seasons when you questioned whether love, partnership, and unity written by heaven were truly meant for you. Perhaps you saw others moving forward while your own path seemed to pause. Perhaps you wondered if your story had been delayed while the world around you continued without waiting. But the truth is far more beautiful than those doubts ever allowed you to see. My beloved, heaven was shaping circumstances, refining hearts, and guiding two separate journeys through lessons that could only be learned through time. What is being revealed now carries the signature of divine patience, and when something carries that signature, it arrives with a peace that cannot be forced or manufactured. Very soon, my child, there will be a moment of recognition. It may arrive quietly, almost like a whisper passing through your thoughts, or it may appear through an encounter that feels strangely familiar, as though your spirit already knows the heart standing before you. That recognition will not come from logic alone. It will come from a calm certainty placed deep within you, a certainty that tells you this meeting was not random, this connection was not accidental. It was written long before either of you understood the paths you were walking. There is a sacred joy connected to the message heaven has released, and that joy carries the warmth of something long awaited finally stepping into the light. My child, there are moments in life when destiny reveals itself not through loud announcements, but through a quiet unfolding that slowly becomes undeniable. At first, it may appear as a gentle shift in your surroundings, small changes that begin to form a pattern. Conversations will align in ways that feel meaningful. Opportunities to cross paths will appear without effort. The pieces that once seemed scattered will begin to gather themselves into a clear picture. You must understand something important, my beloved. The invitation spoken of in the unseen realm is not simply about celebration. It is about union written with intention, a bond that reflects growth, understanding, and the lessons both hearts have carried through their journeys. Heaven does not join two paths without purpose. When such a moment is prepared, it carries the potential to bring peace not only to two individuals, but also to the families, friendships, and futures that surround them. This is why the timing has been guarded so carefully. There have been people in your life who misunderstood the quiet seasons you walked through. Some may have wondered why you waited, why you did not rush into what others expected. But heaven saw something they could not see. Heaven knew that the story being written for you required patience, required wisdom, required a heart that could recognize the difference between what is temporary and what is lasting. And because you endured those quiet seasons, you are now standing closer to a moment that will feel deeply meaningful. My child, you may not yet know the name that will bring a smile to your soul, but heaven already knows it. The one whose path is meant to intertwine with yours has been walking their own journey of preparation. Just as you have grown, learned, and changed through the years, so have they. Every lesson both of you experienced was shaping the ability to meet not as strangers, but as two souls ready to understand one another in ways that go beyond surface appearances. There is something powerful about divine timing. When the moment finally arrives, it carries a sense of peace that quiets the noise of uncertainty. The questions that once filled your mind begin to fade, replaced by a calm confidence that what is happening now is aligned with something greater than chance. You will feel it not only in your thoughts, but in the atmosphere around your life. Situations that once felt complicated will suddenly appear simpler. Paths that seemed closed will open naturally. And while this moment approaches, heaven gently reminds you to remain attentive to the small signals appearing around you. Sometimes destiny introduces itself through the simplest circumstances. A conversation that lingers in your memory. A meeting that feels strangely meaningful. A moment when your heart recognizes a presence it has been waiting for. These are the quiet ways that divine stories begin to reveal themselves. My beloved, do not rush the unfolding of what heaven has written. The beauty of such moments is found in the way they gradually reveal themselves, like a sunrise that slowly fills the sky with light. At first there is only a hint of brightness along the horizon. Then the colors deepen, the warmth grows stronger, and suddenly the entire landscape is illuminated. That is how divine promises often appear in your life. Gently at first, then unmistakably clear. There is a reason your spirit feels drawn to remain here, listening with attention rather than passing by quickly. Something inside you senses that this message carries a thread connected to your own story, and that intuition is not misleading you. My child, the invitation written in the unseen realm was not meant for everyone. It was meant for the one whose journey prepared them to receive it with gratitude rather than fear. Soon, very soon, there will be a moment when a door opens in a way you did not expect. It may come through a simple introduction, a conversation that begins casually but leaves a lasting impression, or an encounter that feels guided by something greater than coincidence. When that moment arrives, remember what you felt here today. The quiet awareness that something meaningful was approaching. Heaven is not hurried. Yet heaven is never late. What has been written for you carries the perfect balance of preparation and revelation. And as the days continue to unfold, you will begin to see glimpses of the plan that has been forming quietly behind the scenes of your life. My child, keep your heart open and your spirit attentive. The story being written around you is not finished revealing itself. In fact, what you are sensing now is only the beginning of something that will bring joy, clarity, and a sense of destiny fulfilled in ways you once only imagined. And when that moment finally arrives, when the name that brings light to your soul appears before you, you will remember this whisper that reached you today, and you will understand that heaven had already begun, announcing the arrival of that beautiful chapter long before the world could see it.